Hey, hello YouTube. I'm gonna see if I can do a quick video on a follow-up on I did on my Vietnam experience. I left off where we stopped at this location, and I explained how um, I almost sat on a dud HE round that was embedded in the ground. I didn't see it when I first sat down, and then I noticed it was about an inch from my butt. I believe that if I would have sat directly on it, I would not be here cutting this video. So, excuse me, I got recovering from a cough. Anyway, so we left the location. We sent a squad out to refill our water supply on the stream that we just crossed. They arrived. They gave us our canteens, and we moved out again. So we continued into our destination, and we ran into another stream. This time, the water again was up to waist level, and then went up to chest level. And then I made a little buddy, a little friend that all Vietnam vets in the jungle, they meet sooner or later. They're friendly leech. And you don't see these suckers. I mean, they're in the water, and before you know it, when you come out, they're all over you. And they start out small, and they suck on your blood. You really don't feel no pain, but they're disgusting. I mean, they turn really huge, and that's because they engorge with your blood. And you can't just grab them off your skin because they're really embedded on your skin. So the only way to really get them off, you had to get somebody with a cigarette lighter or a match to put it on the leech itself, and of course with the heat of the flame, they'll jump off, and they'll leave a little red mark on your skin. And sometimes we use our insect repellent. We used to call it bug juice. We just spray it on them, and they'll come off. And the thing is that I had one in my belly button. I mean, the weirdest place to have a leech is on your belly button. And it felt weird because it felt like he's trying to suck his way inside my belly. So during my tour in Vietnam, I met these little critters constantly. Anytime you cross a swampy area or a stream, you're most likely, almost 100% of the time, you're going to get some leeches on you. So finally, after a long day, we finally reached our destination. It's a small hilltop, and so we settled down for the night, and our squad leader put us out all in our firing positions. If you ever been in the infantry, usually they'll do what they call a wagon train defense. So you're on top of this hill, and they'll put a firing position of 2 men each on average, forming a 360 all the way around the hill. So that way you have observation, supposedly 360 degrees around the hilltop of any enemy approach or any enemy attack. I'm sorry about the cough, guys. So, like I said, I'm the AG. I'm with the M60 gunner. The squad leader puts us out overlooking a trail, not the same trail we came in on, but the trail that we're going to exit in the morning. And facing downhill, so we put our M60 there, most likely avenue of approach on that hill, the most easy avenue of approach anyway, if anybody was going to come up upon us. So we laid the 60 there, and we settled down for the late afternoon. It's going to get dark in an hour or two. And so we, quietly set on our business to make our meals. But the first thing we do is my squad leader taught me how to set my trip flare. I carried a trip flare, and the trip flare is if the enemy was going to approach your position, supposedly they'll trip it. They'll trip the wire, and they'll light up. They'll make the nighttime practically into daytime, so you can see that somebody tripped the wire or somebody's out there. So it gives you illumination so you can see your target, at least for almost a minute. It will light up the whole area. So I put my trip flare out. The most likely place that they'll walk up to my position, and running right in front of the trip flare, meaning in front of first I put the trip flare, then the Claymore mine closer to me. And you have a wire that you string it out to the Claymore mine. It'll go approximately, if I remember correctly, 100 meters, maybe 150 meters. I kind of forgot, but if somebody who's more been in the military lately, they can tell me exactly how long that electrical wire goes out to. And the Claymore mine is easy. I mean, you can't really make a mistake on setting it up, because actually on the mine itself, it says front towards enemy. So you make sure that where it says front towards enemy is facing away from you. If you put that thing backwards, okay, and you pull the clocker on the Claymore mine, you're the one who's going to get the shrapnel or the explosive part of that mine. So we dug the Claymore mine in real deep, try to camouflage it a little bit so nobody can see it, and so they always told us to make sure that you always take the clocker with you. You don't want to leave it in your position, because if somebody, for some odd reason, sees movement or hears movement out there, and the movement is actually you, they may get tempted to actually pull on the clocker, take the safety of it, pull on the clocker, and you're the one being blown up while you're laying out that mine. So we set up the Claymore mine, and now the Claymore mine comes with a blasting cap. You put the blasting cap in a little slot inside the Claymore mine, which is attached to the wire, and then you close the knob where you put the blasting cap in. So anyway, we did all that, and we walked back, and we make sure that we looked around, make sure that we weren't under observation. I mean, you don't want the enemy to see you putting this Claymore mine out, because there have been cases where they have observed our guys putting the Claymore mines out, and at night what they do is they know exact location where it is, but they're very careful that they don't trip the tripwire, because they know you put one out there also. And what they'll do, they'll take the Claymore mine out and reverse it and face it towards you. So if you initiate the mine itself, you're the one that's going to get the brunt of an explosion, not them. So we go back to our position, and we start eating our meals, and here's where I start learning how to use the sternal. I'm pretty sure all of you used sternal before. You call them the heat tabs, and they taught me how to make a little frying pan out of a sea ration can. And what you do is you open the lid. Let's say, for example, you're eating ham slices or pork slices, and you open the lid where it formed like a frying pan, and you do a little hole, and you put the heat tab in the little hole, and you light it up, and you put the can with the lid over the fire, and you put your pork slices on that lid, and it acts like a frying pan. GI ingenuity, okay? They showed me another way how to make a little stove, where you take an empty sea ration can, the small ones, and you make little slots on the bottom, little holes on the bottom for the heat tab to breathe out. So you can put another can on top of that, and that's like a little miniature stove. So yeah, I was taught all this stuff. I'm a new guy, and I'm a brand new. They don't teach you this in training. You learn this on the job in the jungle. Practical things that you need to know so you can survive. So we're settling in for the night, And so everything's quiet. You don't really talk much. You don't know. Nobody will put on a flashlight. Nobody will smoke a cigarette. When it's getting dark, there's a big no-no, because you don't want the enemy to see you. So it's getting pitch dark. The mosquitoes start coming out, and they're biting the shit out of you. And I start putting this stinky bug juice on you, on myself. The same one I use to get the leech off of me. So it's pitch dark. I can't sleep. My first night, mosquitoes keeping me up. My sergeant, my assistant sergeant, he's right next to me, and the machine gunner, he's on my left. I'm right in the middle, and all of a sudden I see a light in the distance, and it's hard for you to see a light because in the jungle you have something called noise discipline and light discipline. So I see this light getting even closer and closer to me. It seems to me like it's a flashlight. And I say to myself, why would anybody use a flashlight in a combat zone? And I was told that sometimes, just like us, the GIs or the enemy, if they feel that they're in a safe area, they feel safe, they might actually, forget about the noise discipline, light discipline, and actually might use some sort of lighting to get around in the dark jungle. So I see this light in the distance, and I start getting scared, because I said to myself, that's the freaking enemy, and they're coming towards my direction. But I'm just saying to myself, why the fuck are you going to use a goddamn flashlight? It just makes no sense. I mean, it just... Anyway, I'm going to leave it until the next video, okay? I hate to leave you with a cliffhanger like that. But I'm going to leave you with the next video, and the ending it's going to surprise you. It's not what you're going to think it is. But I'll leave it at that, because I like my video short. And I promise you that I'm going to make a video right after this one, and I'll tell you the conclusion of what the hell that light was, and who was behind that light, and my reaction to trying to kill that light, or the person behind that light, here in Vietnam. Like and subscribe. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you. And to the next one.